ClubExpress Collectibles. The Collectibles module allows clubs and associations to track collectible items owned by members and optionally non-members. When the Collectibles module is enabled and the module has been configured to allow members to add and update their personal items, a new option appears on the member's profile screen. This is where the members can add and manage their collectibles, and we'll come back to this shortly. We're currently logged into our Demo Balloon Club as a regular member. To display the user side of collectibles, a link has been placed on the menu. For this club, the screen has been configured so that when the collectible screen is initially displayed, it shows only the basic search criteria. For most of these fields, you can search for a value anywhere in the field. To see all items, we can simply press search without entering any criteria. On this screen, every active collectible item appears as a card with a link to the owner's contact information, as well as the item name, and optionally a small photo. Click the Details button to view the details for a single item. The basic properties and a photo, if present, are shown at the top. These basic fields appear for all items. Clicking on the image displays a pop-up window with either a single photo or a photo album. In addition to the basic fields, collectible items can be configured to have more questions, where the answers are visible to everyone and can be searched. Note that there may also be questions that are configured as not searchable and can also have limited visibility. If additional information is present, the screen displays the questions and answers, but only for those questions where information has been supplied. This additional data is organized into sections called pages. Any number of pages can be configured with any number of questions per page, and we'll discuss this when looking at collectibles administration. Now back at the collectibles page, note that the search area is hidden to make more room for the results. You can click to show the search area again. Let's display the additional questions search criteria and look for any red balloons. As seen in the balloon details, this club asks several questions about the items in its collection. Balloon manufacturer, model, number of burners, type of basket, its color, and the importance of envelope attributes like shape and color pattern. For each question, there is an operator such as equals, not equal to, or other conditions that are appropriate to the property type, and you supply the value for the search. For select list and radio button questions, the operator is equals, and the value field shows you the allowable values. For each question, specify the operator and value. You can select multiple questions, and along with the fixed search fields, all specified criteria are created as AND conditions. That is, they must all match for a collectible item to be returned. When you specify the criteria that you want, click the search button to see a result list. So that's the general collectible screen that can display any or all items. Let's consider how the Collectibles module is typically used. For example, in a car club, a member who owns 6 cars will define 6 items within his personal collection, completing the specified properties for each item. Note that a single item can be in the database multiple times. For example, a car may change ownership over the years and be modified along the way, including new engine or paint scheme. So the car may be listed multiple times under the same or different owners with the same reference number, which for a car would be its vehicle identification number. Searching for this car using its reference number will display the complete history of the owner and updates. Also, some clubs may want to use this module as a formal registry. For example, some vintage car clubs have records of every car ever manufactured and want to build such a registry to track each car's history. They have the ability to assign collectible items to non-members or even to specify that the owner is unknown. When both the Collectibles and Member Directory modules are enabled, there's another way to view collectibles for a particular member. Let's go to the Member Directory. When viewing the Member Directory results, clicking on a member's name displays their bio page. Then click on the Collectibles link, and it brings you directly to the collectibles for that member, and there is no search area. So how are collectibles entered into the database? Generally, members manage their own collectible items. Because we're already logged in as a regular member, we click on our name and select Profile. Then click the Collectibles link to display this member's collectible items. A legend at the top of the screen explains the status icons that can appear in the search results. You can filter the list by item status, where draft is an item in process, it's not ready to be shown to others. Active is a completed item that will be shown to others on the main collectibles page. Rejected means that an administrator has determined that the item is not suitable or needs corrections. The member should contact an admin to find out why the item was rejected, in this case because of an invalid registration number. The member can edit the item to fix any problem, but they can't change the status. They must contact an admin to do so. And archived is for an item that you no longer wish to display, perhaps because it's been sold or otherwise removed from the collection. Click the Search button to display matching results. Note that what items are called is determined by your club. In this club, an item is called a balloon. In another, it might be a car or a bicycle, whatever is appropriate. This word is used in search results and in field names. Each item is shown with its reference identifier, the item's name, when it was acquired, and an icon for its status. There are also 3 icons for each item displayed. Click the Edit Information link to edit properties for the item. Click the Copy icon to make a complete copy of the item. You might use this option if you own multiple items that are similar, or an item that has been restored, such as a vintage car, and you want to list the properties both before and after the restoration. Click Delete to remove an item entirely, including all of its properties. If you want to keep the item but not have it display, simply edit the item and change its status to archived. Click the Display Sequence button to control the order in which the items are displayed when people look at your items. To add an item, click the Add button. In the Basic Information area, specify the item name, specify the item ID. In this demo, the ID field has been configured to store the balloon's National Aeronautic Association registration number. Optionally, specify the full date or just the year when the item was purchased and/or sold. Then enter the item's status. You can then upload a single photo or specify one of this member's current photo albums. Here we'll select one of the member's photo albums that has several photos of this balloon. If the Collectibles module has not been configured with additional questions about items, you can click the Save button to save your changes, or click Cancel to exit without saving. However, generally a club administrator will define a series of properties for collectible items. An item can have as many properties as the club wants, with each property being in one of more than 25 different answer formats. Properties are organized into pages. In this club, there are 2 pages of questions. The first set of questions is about the basic balloon properties, and the second page is about the member's envelope preferences. The questions for this club demonstrate a mix of answer types, including multi-select checkboxes, single-select radio buttons, numeric, text, select lists, and date fields. The items with a red dot are required. To navigate to the second page of questions, either click Next or pick the page from the drop-down list. This page uses the scale answer type to gather consistently formatted answers to a series of preferences, and only some of them are required. When complete, click Save to add the balloon to the collection. So that's how a member manages his or her own collectible items. Now let's log on as an administrator and look at the tools to configure and manage all the collectible items for your club. There are 2 ways that administrators and function coordinators can manage collectibles. One is to click the Collectibles link or icon in the Control Panel's People tab to access the admin side of the function. Or, when viewing any screen in the Collectibles function, coordinators and administrators can click the Edit icon in the Page Tools widget on the right side of the screen. The search results are displayed in a grid with columns for the item's ID, name, status, as well as the owner's name, and if they're a member, the member status. The Maintain column has the familiar Edit and Delete icons. Administrators might typically edit items entered by members to change the item's status, perhaps to reject an item, or to reinstate a rejected item once corrections have been made. Admins can also enter data into properties that have been defined as not member editable. Note that the copy icon has additional functionality for administrators. Select the Move option to move the collectible item to an unknown user or to a member or non-member. Click the appropriate selector to select the member or non-member from the database. Or select the Copy option to copy a collectible item to an unknown user or to the same person, either a member or a non-member, or to a new person. There are several buttons for configuring and reporting on the collectibles. Options determines how the Collectibles module will function for your club or association. First, specify the keyword used to represent a collectible item. In our case, each item is called a balloon. If your club collects multiple things, consider simply using the word item, and perhaps put a list of item types in the additional questions area. Next, use the keyword used to represent the reference ID. For example, in a car club, you might use the vehicle identification number. For Show on Member Profile, select Yes to display the collectibles link on profile pages so members can manage their own items. Select the mailing list category that should be used when collectible items are assigned to a member or non-member. Then choose whether the search results should include active members only or everyone. Select No if this is a registry, or if you want users to see all collectible items in the database regardless of the owner's membership status. Choose whether the reference ID is shown and how collectible search results are displayed, either alphabetically by reference ID or by collectible name. And finally, select the default display style of the additional questions within the search panel. Then click Save to save your changes and return to the Collectibles Manager, or cancel to return without saving. Click the Properties button to manage the additional questions you want to gather about the items. This club already has several collectible properties defined, and they're grouped into pages. The first page, page 0, is the scratch pad. This page is never displayed, but it's a good place to put questions that you're working on and don't yet know on which page they will appear. Following the scratch pad are one or more pages, each of which contains one or more questions. Click the Add Page button to add a page. The page name is used on the administration screen, while the page heading is shown on the page itself when people enter data. Click the Page Sequence button to change the order of the pages. The standard ClubExpress sequence dialog will be displayed. There are icons in the Maintain column for pages that let you edit the name and heading of the page, delete this page, and if it has questions, they will be moved to the scratch pad, and you can modify the sequence of the questions on this page, and the standard dialog will be displayed. To add a new question, click the Add Question button. Then specify the page on which the question should be placed. You can specify the scratch pad or any page you've defined. The question name is used on the manager grid only. It's never shown to users. We'll come back to answer type in a moment. The question text field contains the actual text that will be shown to users. This is a miniature version of our advanced content editor with options to control fonts, lists, and alignment, and to display photos or images. And the actual question text can be of virtually unlimited length. Note that a simple text box replaces the editor for a scale question, where the question itself uses a different question type. The Notes field lets you enter additional text that will be shown under the question and in a smaller font. It's usually used for prompts or hints on how to answer the question, and there's a limit of 250 characters. Select the answer type from the drop-down list. There are many types to choose from, and the screen will refresh to show additional options relevant to the answer type chosen. Please watch the ClubExpress Answer Types video for detailed descriptions and examples of each answer type. Note that some answer types require that a list of options be specified, including allowable values or a range or text to be used. The prompt under the field will tell you what should be entered. If an item list must be specified, put each item on a separate line. Some answer types allow for a default answer that will be pre-filled in, but which can be changed. Some answer types support a minimum and maximum answer values. Some answer types support a maximum length to control how much text can be entered. Most answer types also support a response required option. Select Yes if an answer must be provided. And some answer types support a comments box. Select Yes to display this box so the respondents can add comments beyond their main answer. The Member Can Edit option controls whether members can edit the response to this question, or whether this is limited to admins only. Some item properties might be controlled at the club or association level and cannot be changed by members. The Searchable Questions option controls whether this question can be used as search criteria on the user and admin screens. Response Visibility controls who can see the response to this question: everyone, members only, or admins only. And if the item is searchable, then everyone can view the responses. If it's not searchable, the responses can be visible to all, or to members only, or to admins only. Select Save to save your new question or return to the grid, or Cancel to return without saving. Note that to make it easier to create a group of scale questions that have the same properties, there's a button in Surveys, Collectibles, and Ad Hoc Forms called Add Scale Question. You fill in the question text, question prompts, and column headings. When you save the form, the information is automatically parsed into regular answer types. It creates a heading instruction, followed by scale questions for each of the question prompt lines, and if necessary, you can then edit the questions, for example, to make a question not required. This can save you a lot of time when creating groups of questions. The Copy Questions button lets you select and make a copy of an existing question. The copy is placed into the scratch pad, where you can then edit the question, make changes, and assign it to a different page. Now back to the Collectibles Manager page. Reports displays a standard ClubExpress Reports dialog listing available reports for this module. The Export button downloads a CSV data file with information entered for all of the collectible items and the members who own them. This can be opened in a spreadsheet or a database program. The Add button allows an administrator to add an item for a member, or for a non-member, or for an unknown person. For the first two options, you first select the member or non-member from the database before continuing. The unknown person is typically used when a registry is being created and every manufactured item is being tracked. When you select the appropriate choice from the drop-down menu, you'll see an Add Item dialog. You then continue adding item information in the same way that was shown earlier when the member added the item. However, any questions that have been defined as not editable by members, for example, the last club inspection date, are editable by administrators and coordinators. Once it has been completed, it will appear in the search results grid, and if its status is active, it will appear with the other collectibles. So now you've seen how collectible items are displayed to your users, how members can manage their own items, and how administrators can configure and manage collectibles for members, non-members, and unknown owners. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.